Our next presenter is Sydney Striegel. She is from Sigourney and attends Sigourney Junior Senior High School. Sydney is the daughter of Shelley and Dean Striegel. empowHER is her project.
STEM: science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Encouraging girls in areas of STEM and self-esteem. empowHER. Good morning. My name is Sydney Striegel, and I would like to give you a little background on where I was in the 6th grade. I thought I was going to be President of the United States, but that was before I discovered STEM. I joined the first LEGO League team in which I was the robot programmer. From there, I decided to pursue Project Lead the Way courses in high school. This course taught me about computer engineering, mechanical engineering, and physics. Project Lead the Way inspired me to pursue advanced math and science classes throughout the rest of my high school career. In these classes, I noticed that I was continuously the only girl present. This is where the idea for my project stemmed from. There are not enough girls in STEM, especially in my school. I wanted to start girls at a young age so they could have the same experience that I did. I also wanted to give girls self-esteem at a young age because we all know that high school can be a scary place. I felt like I was relatable to younger girls because I'm a teenage girl myself. I created empowHER to expose young girls to STEM principles as well as build self-esteem. My goals were to first create a project, implement it, and make it accessible for anyone, anywhere. From there, I wanted to get more girls in STEM, more girls considering STEM careers, build self-esteem, and leave an impact on participants. When I received notice that I was a Herbert Hoover Uncommon Student Candidate, I met with the elementary principal and guidance counselor to discuss what dates and times would work best for my program. I then researched STEM activities and self-esteem boosting activities and made a brainstorming page to organize my thoughts. I met with the 6th grade girls at the small school of Sigourney Elementary face-to-face to encourage them to come to my program. I sent home parent letters to figure out which dates and times would work best for the students as well as their parents, and realized that I needed to change my days from Wednesdays to Thursdays to better accommodate softball schedules. I also publicized an article in our newspaper to encourage girls to come. I created entrance surveys that ask questions like, how interested are you in a job that involves STEM? How interested are you in STEM activities? And what would you rank your self-esteem? To give the girls at the first session of empowHER. I also created exit surveys that ask some of the same questions to give at the last session of empowHER so I could track my growth. I also created surveys to give to the girls after each individual session of empowHER so I could track my progress and so I could figure out which areas I needed to improve on for future sessions. I sent home photo release forms to cover all liabilities. empowHER met on Thursdays from 1 to 2 for 6 weeks beginning in June. The first 30 to 45 minutes were devoted to a STEM activity, and the next 15 to 30 minutes were devoted to a self-esteem boosting activity. The titles of my STEM projects were Bungee Barbie, Suck an Egg into a Bottle, Solar-Powered Ovens, STEM Web Quest, Creating Kites, and Terrific Tie-Dye. I chose activities based on survey response from my participants. Now, I have a short snippet to show you of what an empowHER experiment looked like. This was Suck an Egg into a Bottle.
Work. The fire's still in there.
Oh! I see it going a little.
But it might light another match.
Oh, it's going!
Oh!
It's gonna go. It's going.
It's gonna break. It's.
So, as you can see, our experiments included a lot of fun. Now, we all know that Herbert Hoover was a mining engineer and was exceptional at math, which just so happens to be my favorite subject. He was famous for his humanitarian work, which is why I decided to make empowHER free and focus on the welfare of my participants. He was raised upon the Quaker faith, which stresses the power of the individual and importance of freedom, which are two values I tried to instill in empowHER. Lou Henry Hoover, Herbert's wife, was the first and only female in her class to major in geology at Stanford. She supported equality between men and women, especially in education, and was known as the first modern First Lady. She was avidly involved in the Girl Scouts organization, which stresses a lot of values that empowHER does. empowHER averaged 3 girls with 5 at the most per session. Surveys after each session showed an increase from 3 to 5 by the end of the program in these categories. 1, do you feel like new STEM principles were introduced to you? And 2, how excited are you for the next session of empowHER? Exit surveys showed me that participants were more interested in STEM careers, activities that involve STEM, and they ranked their self-esteem an average of 4.5 after taking part in empowHER. Participants to this day still come up and talk to me or hug me whenever they see me. For example, Lily right here is quite the chatterbox. She had no idea what a computer programmer was before taking part in empowHER, and so we did a STEM web quest in which she researched STEM careers and found that computer programming might be the job for her. Had Lily not taken part in empowHER, she might not even know what a computer programmer is, let alone that she could see herself in that career. I asked a parent and a few of my participants to give me their feedback on what they thought of empowHER. A parent says, "Thank you so much for putting this on. My daughter has really enjoyed it." Kenzie says, "My mom signed me up for this girls group this summer. We learned how to suck a boiled egg into a bottle, and I was the first to do it. I loved it. We did all sorts of cool experiments. Sydney is very smart and made learning fun. She was a really cool teacher." Riley says, empowHER was a really cool experience for me to do this summer. Sydney taught us some neat things about math and science, and we did really awesome experiments. We always ended each meeting with girl talk. It was fun. Now I have a short video to show you of what empowHER looked like throughout the summer. Whoop.
Oh, look at the lilies. My future recommendations for the continuation of empowHER would be to incorporate it into the school day, as an after-school program, or as a summer program. For example, Sigourney's elementary STEM coach, Krista Harper, would like to implement empowHER throughout the school day. I would also recommend having a parent meeting a week prior to the beginning of empowHER to boost enrollment, because I only sent home parent flyers, and I felt like I would have had a better turnout had I met with parents face-to-face. Now,
The link here contains all the necessary information to make this project a success anywhere, Iowa or the nation. The link includes entrance surveys, exit surveys, surveys to use after each session, STEM project ideas, self-esteem project ideas, parent letters, photo release forms, and an explanation of what empowHER is. Overall, empowHER made its goal of building confidence and showing girls STEM. I personally learned how to motivate students and how to pull from feedback to improve future sessions. empowHER has left a positive impact on participants and myself. I've identified with not only Herbert Hoover, but Lou as well throughout this process, and I believe that both of the Hoovers would support empowHER today. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. This one? Oh, okay. Well, I tried.
For the number of girls, did you see that it grew as the time went on, or what was the overall participation in the number of girls in this program?
Okay, so I had 3 girls at my first session, and towards the end, that's when I hit 5, because we got more girls bringing their friends and that kind of thing. So yeah, I would say it progressively grew.
Do you think the students that you worked with will be interested in taking STEM classes? You mentioned Project Lead the Way or
Yeah.
other kinds of science or math classes.
Definitely. A lot of them were eager to do the STEM activities. They thought it was really fun, but I think it definitely got them thinking about it more, especially because that was one of the questions I asked on the exit survey, and I believe it's on the entrance survey too. It asked, how interested are you in STEM careers? And so that changed from about an average of 3 to an average of 5 at the end, and 5 was the top. So yeah, so I definitely think they will pursue those in junior high and high school.
Who came up with the idea, empowHER?
I did.
Did you?
Yes. I was trying to figure out what type of project I should do to submit for the Herbert Hoover application. And I was talking with my mom, and I remembered first Lego League, and that's really what got me on the track to pursuing a STEM career. And so I thought, well, I want to do that, but I want to do it for girls because we don't really have anyone at my school interested in that. So I thought, well, girls, but I need a second part. I need self-esteem. So I put them together, and I was like, well, it's empowering them. So then I thought, empowHER, because we're empowering her. So that's where it came from.
Did the surveys that you passed out, did you develop those as well?
Yes, I developed all of the curriculum, all of the surveys, all of that. Some of the project ideas I used from like stembuddies.org and that kind of thing, but I also, like creating kites, I came up with that one myself. I had to look up how to make a kite, but I came up with the idea myself, so.
And talk a little bit about how you developed the logo that goes with empowHER.
All right, so I'm personally, I really like logos. I like designing stuff. I like designing presentations. So as soon as I decided on empowHER, I created my logo. And there were 3 different ones that I tested out, and they were all different colors. But I wanted, my idea was a flower and a weight, because I wanted the flower to represent the girl, femininity, and then I wanted the weight to represent strength, because we're strengthening the girl. So that was the whole idea. And the orange and green, that just came from the flower, because that's the flower I like the most, and that's the weight that I like the most. So that's where the color scheme came from. But the idea behind the logo was strengthening girls. So. Yeah, thank you.